So this is the 2014 Junior Cert Higher Level Paper 2, and we're looking at question number 5. Students in a class are investigating spending in their local area. They each carry out a different survey and display the results. Part A says John is investigating whether people pay for their weekly shopping with credit card, debit card, cash or cheque. When people tell him which one of these they usually use, he writes it in a table. His results are shown below. So he's written all his results here in the table. Part 1 says, what type of data has John collected? Put a tick in the correct box below. Okay, so the first two types are numerical. So the data he's collected is not numerical, so they're gone. So it's categorical. If it's not numerical, it's categorical. So we know it's categorical, but is it categorical nominal or categorical ordinal? Well, ordinal means that it's got a natural order. So do the categories credit card, debit card, cash, check, do they have a natural order to them? The answer to that is no. You could write these in any order. It wouldn't make any difference or sense, more sense if you wrote it in another order. So that means it's categorical, it's not ordinal, then it's nominal. Part 2 says fill in the frequency table below. Okay, so for the different methods of payment, so credit cards, so we're going to count this from the table. So credit cards, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for credit card. The frequency, you just put in the total. Debit card next, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for debit card. Cash, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for cash. And check, as you might expect in these times, there's only one check. So good idea here would be just to quickly add these numbers up. 4 and 7 is 11, and 8 is 19, and 1 is 20. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 fours is 20, so there was 20 entries. So it's a good idea just to check that. Part 3 says, what is the mode of John's data? Well, the mode is the most common frequency, the most common thing. So the most common thing is cash. So just be careful here, don't write in the number 8. That's how many times it appears, but the mode is the thing that appears most often, which is cash. Part 4 says, John says that he cannot find the mean of his data. Explain why this is the case. Well, you can't find the mean of categorical data. You can only find the mean of numerical data. So cannot find the mean of categorical data. Part 5, display John's data in a pie chart. Show all your calculations clearly. Okay, so pie chart, we're going to take our compass, of course. We're going to stretch the compass out. We're going to draw a circle for our pie chart. Okay, now to work out the sectors in the pie chart, we're going to have to do some calculations. So if you remember from our table, 4 out of a total of 20 were credit cards. So 4 out of 20 for credit cards. Now if we want to work out how much of the circle this sector is going to be, how many degrees, you multiply that by 360 degrees, because there's 360 degrees in a full circle. So in other words, you're finding out what's 4/20ths of 360. So the answer to that then, you can do this in your calculator, that's 72 degrees. So this is going to be credit card. C card, 72 degrees. Then we can do D card, debit card. So the debit card was 7 out of 20. So 7 over 20 times 360 degrees. And that gives us 126 degrees. After that, then we've got cash. So again, we'll go back and check. Cash was 8. So that's 8 out of 20, the total number of entries, times our 360 degrees to find out what fraction of the circle it is. And on our calculator, that gives us 144 degrees. And then finally, check, which I remember was 1. I'll just double check. Yeah, there was 1 check. So that's 1 over 20 times the 360 degrees. So 1 over 20 times 360 gives us 18 degrees. So there we go. A good idea now again to check would be to add these 4 angles here up on your calculator and make sure it gives you 360 degrees, which it does. So, okay, so one thing I didn't do there was actually to mark the center of the circle. So I should have done that at the beginning. So the center of the circle, I think was somewhere like that. So there's the center of our circle. So just make sure you do that before you draw the actual circle. Okay, so we have the center of our circle. So now we're going to use our protractor to draw some of these angles in. Okay, so before we do that, the first thing we can do is from the center, just draw a line straight up. Just going to use a different line here. So again, from the center. Okay, so the first angle we're going to do then is the 72 degree angle. So 72 degree angle. You want to get your protractor positioned on the center like so. And you're going to mark up to 72 degrees then. So make sure you go on the right scale from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 72 would be there. Well, just be careful when you're marking this, so it would be there. So we can just draw that line then from the center up towards that point. So there's our 72 degrees. So that's going to be our credit card. Let's label that now. That's credit card. Okay, so then we're going to go and do the next one, which is 126 degrees. So from here again, make sure that our protractor is lined up correctly, like so. And we're going to mark 126 degrees. So this one's done. 126 then, starting from 0, going all the way around to 1, 2, 5, and 6 would be there. So there we go, that's 126. So we can take this away, and this time join the center out there. You'd be doing this with a ruler. That gives me the 126 degrees in here, and that's for debit card. So we've one more to do, and then the other one should be just left. So we're going to do 144 degrees. So again, center of the compass here. I'm going to rotate around till it lines up with that one there like that. And we're going to go to 144 degrees, starting from 0 all the way around 140. 144 would be somewhere like that. Move this away and draw our final line in. Again from the center here to there. So that gives us 144 degrees here for cash. That's done, and then check. The last one will be the 18 degrees that's left. Check. So that's the pie chart done. Okay, part B. Margaret wants to examine if people prefer to do their weekly shopping in Tesco, Dunnes Stores, SuperValu or Lidl. She stands outside her local Lidl shop for one day and asks everyone as they leave the shop where they prefer to do their weekly shopping. Give one reason why Margaret's data may be biased. Well, the obvious answer here is she's standing outside Lidl. So she will have Lidl shoppers predominantly. Or she will have more Lidl shoppers, so people answering Lidl. And they'll be answering Lidl. So that's kind of an obvious one. Part C. Mary is interested in the amount of money people spend on their weekly shopping. She surveys people as they leave the local supermarket on a Saturday morning and displays her results in the two graphs below. So we have a pie chart on the left and a histogram or bar chart on the right. Part 1 then says, Mary wants to show that about half of her sample spent less than €40 on their weekly shopping. Which graph do you think she should use, and give a reason for your answer? Well, the easiest thing here is just to look and see from which graph is it more obvious than that half the sample spent less than 40, about half. So if we look at the first one here, from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, you can immediately see with the pie chart that just over half, maybe, or about half, spent from 0 up to 40. So it's very obvious from the pie chart, whereas with the histogram, from 0 up to 40 would be these 4 bars here, to the left of this. And it's quite hard to tell if these 4 is, if you stack these on top of each other, would they be the same height as the ones on the right? So it's much easier to see here, I think, with the pie chart. So the answer here would be pie chart. And the reason is just that it's easier to see. Easier to see where half the pie chart is. So that'll do for that one. Okay, and finally then, part 2. Mary wants to show that there were more people in the 30 to 40 group than in any other. Which graph do you think she should use, and give a reason for your answer? Well, in this case, I would say it's the histogram, because you can see immediately that the 30 to 40 bar is higher, whereas it's much harder to tell, is the 30 to 4 slice of the pizza here, for want of a better analogy, is that bigger than the ones to the left and right? It's definitely easier to tell with the histogram in this case. So we're going to say the histogram or the bar chart. If you call it bar chart, you'll get full marks. But it is a histogram, technically. So histogram, and this time it's easier to see which bar is higher. So that is the end of that part and the question 5.